Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
I'm Dr. Sky, and welcome once again to the Dr. Sky Experience, exclusively here at WABCRadio.com from America's #1 radio station, Talk Radio 77 WABC, the crown jewel of radio, as we like to call it, the iconic Talk Radio 77 WABC, broadcasting not only around the nation and around the world, but I'm sure out into the universe. Thank you for joining me for the Dr. Sky Update, episode number 26, as we welcome you and yours to month number 8, the month August, with so many things happening in our skies. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a great month, and don't miss the many great events that we'll talk about. We begin with Earth's nearest neighbor, the moon. Did you know that there are actually 2 full moons in the month of August? Yes. And there's also 2 supermoons. Now, what's a supermoon? A supermoon is really an astrology term, but in the world of astronomy, we find out that when the moon's perigee, or when it's closest to the Earth, coincides with its full phase, and that can be hours away or almost on target, we call it a supermoon. So get set. The first of the beautiful supermoons occurs on August the 1st at 2:32 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, when the perigee and the full moon phase are only 11.4 hours apart. That beautiful full sturgeon moon will be rising, of course, after dark. Don't miss it in the eastern part of the sky. And then, interestingly enough, we move on to the second of those super full moons, that of August the 30th at 9:36 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Some say that the second full moon in a calendar month is officially known as a blue moon. And by the way, the August 30th super blue moon, as we'll call it for this episode, is actually the closest supermoon of all of 2023. How close is it? Get a load of this. Some 221,942 miles away. So get set. As you're looking at that particular moon on the evening of August the 30th, do it just around the time of moonrise and check your local times and exact locations for that. The rest of the moon conditions throughout the month of August, month number 8, are as follows. Last quarter moon on August the 8th. A new moon, the dark of the moon, on the 16th. We'll have a little surprise in just a few moments about a great meteor shower that maybe you've seen, but if you haven't, pay attention as we continue with the Dr. Sky Experience with Sky Update number 26. After that new moon of the 16th, the moon creeps into our northwest skies as a thin waxing crescent. Look for it as a first quarter moon on August the 24th. And again, not to be repetitive, but important enough, that beautiful second full super moon of that entire month of August, the closest of all the full moons of 2023. For planets, the Greek word planeteos, meaning wandering stars. We begin with the planet Mercury, the innermost planet. Did you know it comes to greatest elongation in the east, that is, the eastern side of the sun? So it's visible in northwest sky just after sunset, best on the date of August the 10th. It's known as its greatest elongation on the eastern side of the sun, so obviously you see it in the west. How about Venus, the goddess of love and beauty? If you've noticed, she's diving into the northwest sky toward the sun. Not by chance, but it's all by celestial mechanics. Venus simply moves into inferior conjunction into the solar glare on August the 13th, and then you'll start to see it later in the year as the beautiful morning star, as we call it, even though we know it's a planet, rising ahead of the sun. The planet Saturn, this particular planet, the most difficult and distant planet to see for the ancients, obviously comes to opposition, meaning it's best on the evening of August the 27th, when the planet rises in the eastern sky, right at the time of sunset. Don't miss Saturn, as the rings are tightening up. In a few more years, we'll be going through the ring plane of Saturn's rings. What that means is they'll seemingly disappear for a while. But what makes Saturn, in many people's opinion, so amazing is the beautiful ring system. So don't miss it. For those of you with telescopes, you'll be able to see that. And that planet again rises at opposition and best on August the 27th in the east. How about that special treat we were talking about before? We find the annual Perseid meteor shower will peak on the morning hours of August the 13th. Now, if you've been following the moon positions here on the Dr. Sky Experience for the month of August, you'll know that there'll only be about a 10% moon illuminating the skies during the early morning hours of the 13th. This annual meteor shower under dark conditions, folks, and you know if you've observed it before how great it is. Find the darkest location you can with the clearest of skies. You should be able to see upwards of maybe 50 meteors zooming out of the constellation Perseus the Hero. Simply stated, look in the northeast sky after midnight till dawn. That's your assignment from Dr. Sky, and you will certainly love the assignment because you and your family will enjoy one of the best spectacles in nature. What are these meteors? They're all debris from a famous comet known as Swift-Tuttle. This particular comet blows out so much material, like an exhaust pipe of a vehicle, small chunks and pebbles of material we would call meteors as they stream through the Earth's atmosphere. Some even smaller, maybe the size of beach sand, grains of beach sand, incredible as it is. So don't forget, this particular meteor shower, I've observed it for over 40 years. Maybe you have too. But if it's your first time, get set for a most amazing sight for you and your family. And remember, of all the objects that regularly come close to the Earth in the solar system, it's hard to believe this, but it's true. Comet Swift-Tuttle makes the closest appearances over time. In other words, over all time. Some speculate that the comet's nucleus may strike the Earth in the future, but at least at this point, since we're in the optimism mode, we doubt that highly. But just know that these meteors all come from the tail of comets. By the way, there's some comets that are visible in our August skies. And the best way to relate to those without going through every single one of the comets is to remind you to go to our favorite website for this, and that is theskylive.com. Theskylive.com or theskylive.com. Look up the comet section, and for those more advanced listeners out there, you'll be able to track these comets. And they're certainly great. We've had Comet Atlas in our skies, Comet Lemon, and a few other comets that are coming to be visible. They're great to see because, remember, they're the last objects in the creation of the solar system that come out from the deep, dark recess of the solar system by the hand of the sun's gravity as it pulls it closer into the sun. We find ourselves looking at comets all the time at theskylive.com. And by the way, if you're a big fan of looking at Earth satellites, we know so much. The low Earth orbit is very crowded right now. My suggestion to everybody out there is simply go to heavens-above.com, plug in your city, and look at the objects that are coming to be there. It's almost like a menu, like a gastronomy event if you're cooking up something and something's on the menu. You'll find so many Earth-based satellites listed in locations, but the brighter ones, like the International Space Station and the Chinese Tiangong Space Station and Hubble Space Telescope, are regularly visible in your skies. Great sights. Remember, they're going over 17,000 miles an hour. Amazing sights. And of course, ISS is extremely bright at times. For all of our friends in the western part of the United States, we'd like to thank the many folks that do believe in the Dr. Sky Experience, like many of you. And two great restaurants. If you're out here in Arizona, it's Yao's Chinese Restaurant in Gilbert, Arizona. Great, great food. And also Raphael's Pizza and Wings, located in Glendale, Arizona. These folks are locations where we've actually done some Dr. Sky outings, where we show people the nighttime sky as they're about to dine on some interesting and very, very tasty food. So if you're out in the West, come and patronize these folks. They love it, and they support all of the things that are going on here at WABCRadio.com. The great hosts, the great shows, and of course, the great folks that put all this together. And don't forget to listen to me with John Catsimatidis every Sunday on the Cats Roundtable. Thank you, John, for that opportunity. And then The Other Side of Midnight, where we transform it, with Frank Morano's permission, the host, into the infinite side of midnight. Bi-monthly, that is, every other Wednesday at 1 a.m. And to learn so much more about all the things that are happening from the realms of astronomy, space, aviation, and weather, celebrity guests in the mix. And yes, I was military. We also have great guests from the realm of American exceptionalism. All at WABCRadio.com, the Dr. Sky Experience. And if you'd like to email me, that's easy too. It's simply drskyshow@gmail.com. And what do we say? We always remind everybody out there. We hear from people all over the world all the time. Always remember to keep your eyes to the skies, as I'm your navigator on the highway to the heavens. And we really do appreciate this great radio station, well over 100 years young. I remember it as a native New Yorker. Still love the station. Who wouldn't? As we listen to Talk Radio 77 WABC, the crown jewel of radio, the iconic Talk Radio 77 WABC. Clear skies and good health.